The Village of Granville Board meeting today is September 8th. First order of business tonight is to ratify the meeting minutes of August 4th. I need a motion to ratify the meeting minutes. Heather makes the motion and Dean seconds. All in favor? Aye. Moving on to our monthly reports from our Granville Police Department. Total incidents for the month of August was 108. Total incidents year to date was 1,025. Total investigations year to date is 139. I have a report from our Justice Roger Ferrando, a check for the amount of $2,282.75 was sent to the Chief Fiscal Officer of the Village of Granville on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. I have our Granville Fire Department submitted by Chief Mike Zinn. Structure fires are at 1, fire alarms at 3, EMS assisted 3, motor vehicle crashes 1, hazardous conditions 2, grass and brush fires at 1, water rescue 1, and an animal rescue was at 1. Total alarms for the month of August is 14. Total calls year to date is at 130. I have our village DPW water tests for Granville. A sample was taken at 75 Quaker Street, and a sample was taken at 89 North Street, and a sample was taken also at 48 East Potter. All the samples came back good. Everything is fine. The village water is safe to drink. I also have a report submitted by our local ordinance officer, Kurt Padone. 11 verbal warnings have been issued. 1 building permit has been applied for. 3 sidewalk replacement applications has been applied for. And 1 case has been referred to code enforcement. That's all I have for our reports. I need a motion to accept the reports as read.
Make the motion.
Denise makes the motion. Paul seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving along to our monthly appropriations in the general fund. $89,703.25. Sewer fund, $88,153.93. Water fund, $21,650.97. Senior shuttle, $1,118.64. Unaudited vouchers came in at $6,336.50 for a total of $206,963.29. I need a motion to pay the bills. Heather makes the motion and Dean seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a couple of budget transfers to go through here. I'm going to hand this over to our budget officer, Mr. Rick Roberts. Rick, if you wouldn't mind.
One certain budget transfer requested tonight. Mayor, we know the swim program only side, only attend. We needed to have more instructors for safety. So we were overrun by $1,000 at the personal service youth program line item. We had some money left over for contractual expense, transportation, and the board is high this year, so just had $1,000 from contractual expense to personal.
Anybody have any questions about that budget transfer?
Approve the following transfer.
Dean makes the motion to approve the transfer.
I'll second.
Paul seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving along, for many years, the village board has authorized the village clerk and mayor to attend the NYCOM Fall Training Conference. NYCOM provides instruction and guidance in a wide variety of subjects, from foils and open meeting laws. Other important events like election changes and retirement system. Years past, the village has also obtained cost-saving solutions through NYCOM and saved a great deal of expenses. We refinanced the municipal center, switched health plans, power suppliers, and effected several changes like our utility audit, all through the contacts that we established when we were at NYCOM in the conference. This year's conference is September 15th through the 19th. in Lake Placid. The deputy clerk will not be able to attend, so the offered coverage is not going to be necessary to fill that. What I need from the board, any opinions on this, is basically for approval for us to attend NICOM this year. Um, Rick does a great job with as far as getting the NICLAS and everything that we first established about 5 years ago now, I think 4 or 5 years ago. It's turning out to be very well. We saved a lot of money. The energy stuff that I've learned is, especially with the streetlight program, has been saving us a lot of costs for electricity. And as you all know, the cost of electricity is becoming ridiculous. But it is a good meeting. We get to talk with other villages and how they're handling the stress of the state laws and the mandates that they're doing without any funding. Um, so we all know the pros and cons, or the pros of NICOM. I don't know too many of the cons, so I basically need the village board's approval to send us out for some training.
I've been to NICOM with for many years, and I really understand the importance of NICOM. How much you learn, how much you communicate with other trustees or other clerks from across the state, and it really has been valuable. So I'm definitely in favor of that.
Well, if that's a motion, Denise, I'll second that.
I'll make that a motion.
All right. Denise makes the motion and Dean seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Moving along to our fall and leaf brush collection schedule. The village DPW is going to be collecting yard waste according to the schedule listed on the below. This will be also in the paper or on our website. It's posted. Anybody can access it, or you could stop by the office or give the office a call. The brush should be bundled into lengths not exceeding 4 feet. Those wishing service on dates other than listing below, please contact our DPW. The leaves have to be placed in clear or brown paper bags or raked curbside, while brush should be bundled into lengths not exceeding 4 feet separately. This is going to be happening on Monday, October 6th, Monday, October 20th, Monday, November 3rd, Monday, November 17th, Tuesday, October 14th, Monday, October 27th, and Monday, November 10th, and November 24th. So it's all Mondays. And please do not wait until after Thanksgiving to put a mile of leaves out in the front lawn and say you didn't have time to rake them, because this year we're not going to pick them up. That's fair warning. Our DPW works their tails off getting this all prepared and to take care of. It's a wonderful service that's provided. So please pay attention to our schedule and follow the schedule, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate you if something can happen. But after that date, that truck is used for our salt runs and snowstorms. So we will be removing the leaf sucking machine, and that truck will not be available. So do not put a football field full of leaves in front of your house and expect us to pick it up, because it's not going to happen.
I think last year, didn't Jimmy spend a better part of a day and he had to hand shovel them, which is not fair to those guys. That was after one or two snowstorms that hit it. So I'm with the mayor. I mean, you get the leaves out there, we'll get them cleaned up. If not, then it's on you. Especially when they leave them right on the curb, around the sidewalk where the kids have to walk through them. That was just a mess last year.
Okay, moving along. Our sewer commission had a meeting. This was on August 25th, and they had some discussions about the water connection hookup fees. This is something that needs to be addressed. It hasn't been looked at for an extremely long time. I've been here almost 16, 17 years now, and I don't ever remember seeing this come across. But the price for uh, hooking up two water lines, the copper cost alone, the valves, everything that we utilize to provide a service to customers that are hooking on brand new or replacing to water service within the village has almost quadrupled in the last 3 or 4 years alone, let alone the course of time that we're talking about for this fee change. So what I'm proposing to the board is a fee change to hook up water lines, a 3/4 inch line. This is inside the water district. In other words, if you're inside the village, 3/4 inch line is going to be $750. The 1 inch line is 1,000. 1 inch and a half line is 1,250. 2 inches at 1,500. And if you have anything greater than 2 inch, it's going to have to be market price because the copper lines and the valve costs, if we can even get them, are extremely pricey. And we've been running into that time and time again. And these fees just need to be changed. If you're outside the district, in other words, if we provide water to you that's outside the village limits in Granville, these fees are approximately $150 more than what I just, or it could be upwards of $500 more. The bigger the service line, the price is going to cost more. This is not something that we're trying to make money on. This is basically something that's going to cover our own costs and to be able to supply the water fee or the water hookups for the convenience of people uh, across the village. Again, you all know the prices go up on everything. Just because we're a municipality, we still have to pay those increases. And if people want the service, then it costs money. So it's going to have to be jumped up in price. So anybody want to discuss that? I mean, Dean is our water guy with Scott. They're the ones that
I mean, we're not getting rich on this at best. I don't think we're even really breaking even on this. The time we buy the materials, get the machine in the ground, and then the time that they have to go back and forth, to create the contract and putting in. So it's just time to do it, but we can't be in the business of putting stuff in the ground and losing money as a municipality. So that's why we looked at these rates to increase them. And then, larger water main stuff like that can be done by a contractor, which Scott oversees that anyways. But the smaller stuff, generally, these guys take most of it on, and they're right there with the contractor. They're doing it too, so it just needs to be done.
This property's outside the village, correct?
Well, basically, what we're looking at is, two different rates here today. So if we had somebody needed to hook up in the village, this is the rate, for 3/4, which typically for most residential.
Right.
It's 750. We had somebody outside the district in town that wanted to hook on, and it's $1,000 for that.
This property's outside the village.
Yeah, this
So
one
it
is
would
here.
be metered also.
no,
No,
Flat rate.
flat rate.
Double because it's outside the.
correct. They pay a double fee because it's
That's just for the water itself, which is different.
no. This is the initial hookup to the
Hookup,
system.
It's not the,
Right.
it's not charged
You're not changing the rates. No,
Right.
this is just a hookup to the.
to the
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah, no, we had a meeting, and they said one of the things that came out of the meeting was obviously we're doing these connections down. And it said this guy,
Yeah,
knowing the price of material was expensive, and I said we're starting to get upside down. And this guy's so diesel, I'm seeing per boxes and copper right now. It's insane. So we talked about it, came up with a new rate schedule, which we felt was fair for the village, but also fair for the consumer.
right.
So we're not looking to get rich. We're just basically breaking even on it.
Yeah, this hasn't been changed in a long time.
No.
It's been stagnant at that price.
Almost more than 20 years that I can recall.
And then the materials are it's just
Yeah.
everything's so expensive, especially with copper.
Okay.
So that being said, does anybody else have anything to discuss on that?
No.
I'm going to need a motion to approve this price change.
I'll make that motion.
Paul makes the motion and Heather seconds. All in favor of this? Aye, I agree. It needs to be done. Okay, moving along. What you have in your packet, and anybody can see this as well, if they would like a copy. I'm asking for a resolution to vote on a improved handicap accessibility for the Pember Library and Museum. Whereas the Village of Granville owns the real property upon which said improvements are purposed, and whereas the Pember Library and Museum's operation and management are coordinated and controlled by the Pember Library Board of Trustees, a body independent from the Village Board of Trustees. I'm not going to read all this whole thing going down through, but basically what we're looking to is to improve the handicap access point to the handicap access elevator, which there is a definite need to be happening. You all have it in your packet. We discussed this. I have discussed this with our attorney, Mike Martin, as well. where is Mike? Oh, yeah, but I thought Mike was here. I was going to have Mary King speak about this a little bit, if you don't mind.
Granville Foundation. There is a concrete pad right before the door, the handicap door, which we also applied for the hardware to make the door open, which it should have, by pushing the button and opening the door. It's very heavy. But to get from the concrete pad from your car to there can be helpful. It's not good. If you're in a wheelchair, if you have a cane, if you have a walker, and it's not just handicapped people. Actually, I wanted to point out there's a lot of moms who come there with a little person in a stroller and two hanging onto the sides, and she's juggling everything. And it would be good for a mom to get into the building too. It's just very difficult. So obviously paving would be the answer to make it the transition better to the door. So the whole parking lot, if you ever just drive by and look, you can see the potholes. It's impossible for it not to be, and it just is what it is. But now that we have handicap accessibility for patrons, it'd be nice if they didn't get injured on the way to the door to use it. So we're just looking to have it paved.
Thanks, Mary. I agree as well. I think it'd be a great improvement for the Pember. It will improve access to the building, and anything that we can do to help out there, I think would be a great idea, especially for the village owning the place.
The Pember is the one that applied to the foundation.
Correct. The Pember has applied for the grant monies. Right. Right.
Right.
But I think that's a wonderful thing and if we can, if the funds are there to do it, then I think that should be done. So, does the board have anything to discuss about this or
No, I
ask?
think it's a great project, and ever since they put the elevator on, we always try to find a way to, put blacktop in there, but we always came up short with our own blacktop projects, and then we try to put millings in there and improve it, so I think it's wonderful that, in fact, you guys or in the process of, getting grants, no, I'm 100% in favor, and I think maybe Scott's gonna be a little bit involved with the project, and I would think, just keep in mind, depending on where we put the asphalt down, if you plan on putting that push button in for the handicap door, if we gotta put stuff in ahead of time, Scott, or what your thoughts are on that, but I'm sure you're already ahead of that, and
Well, we have a lot of reading in there. We have
Yeah.
the whole piece as far as the reading. Then something in no one for us. Liquid drainage.
yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the following project.
Dean makes the motion and Denise seconds. I'm going to need a roll call vote on this. So I'm going to start right at the end with Heather.
Or
Paul?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Denise? And I also vote yes. It's a great addition. Okay. So moving on to the mayor's reports, I have a couple of things that I'd like to go over. I'd like to bring up to the board, and we were talking about doing this last year. Actually, Heather, if you'd like to bring it up, I know that she mentioned to me.
Scott was interested in changing our times for the winter parking ban, just to make it a little bit easier and a little more realistic for the DPW guys to plow. And I know that's the process and it needs to be started early, so I figured I would bring it up. And Scott's really the one with the information and it's your guide. So what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, in the mornings, from the plow, it's like, in the morning in the front, 5 a.m. So not that everybody runs out of all the park and street plow, but it certainly helps out with the, kind of force to say, gives time, it takes about 3 hours to complete plow, especially on school days, which is when we clear it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something we discussed, so it's just, whatever you think.
I think it needs to be addressed. I know I've talked this over with Ernie a couple times too. At the same time, when he comes in for shift change and the band's over with already, you can't check it out. But my suggestion to Scott was to start at 10 p.m. and go to 8 a.m. in the morning, um, to give everybody a little extra time here, especially on a snowy day. The guys usually are out on the streets by 4:30 in the morning, um, and it gives them time to not only get a first run in, but also start to clean up a little bit if it's not too major of a storm. But a lot of times people come out first thing in the morning, they say, okay, it's daylight or whatever, and they just leave their car on the street. And it's tough to get around, it's tough to plow, and it's tough to maneuver all the way around. I don't really want to go to the effect of no parking at all, period, on the streets during the winter, but I think that this new time change, basically from November 1st until April 1st, will adjust the schedule and it'll help out the DPW. I think it'll help out our police as far as enforcement as well. And I think it's going to better everybody's access all the way around and make it a little safer. So what we're going to do is this is going to take a change of our local law. I'll have to get a hold of Michael Martin and we will schedule a public meeting or a public hearing on this. And then we can vote on it. We can't do this tonight. This is something, but I just wanted to say as a heads up that it is coming and we'll work towards that. Rip?
That's the way that you would do it, Mayor, because it's a local law, you would vote to amend the local law. I I work with code book a lot, and so I don't mean to put anyone on the spot here, but Ernie has mentioned to changing the fee for fingerprinting. We charge $25 for fingerprints, and that, believe it or not, is in the same local law as the hours for the winter parking ban. Uh, I don't know if you have a number offhand, but I think what the board is talking about tonight is changing it from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. Is that what we want Mike to do?
10 p.m. to 8 a.m.
10 p.m.
Yep.
And then
And we can discuss
the fee, but the board, that has not been increased in at least 15 years. I know, like, Staples gets $89 to do a background check
Yeah.
for someone that includes fingerprints. So certainly some number higher than $25. But I would speak with the chief and coordinate that with Mike if that's acceptable.
I agree. I think it should be done at the same time, especially since it's in the same local law. Maybe we can address both points at the same time, and if it needs to be changed, and we can have the public hearing on it and vote on them both at the same time. Is the board okay with that? Okay, so that's where we're going to leave that right now, and we'll get a hold of Mike and probably set something up for next month's meeting. Okay, I have one more or a couple more things here. I'm going to hand this over to our lighted tractor parade coming up. Hard to believe that the summer's gone already, but we're going to hand this over to Crystal and see what she has to say about it. Crystal, you want to inform us what's going on?
Turnout and it's easier for our participants as well. We're looking at starting the 13th of December, which is the second Saturday, the Saturday after the tree lighting. We're going to keep with the 5:30 p.m. It seems to be good as far as closing the windows down, things like that, and traffic control. We are going to keep our partnership with Hewlett's Trucking. We were able to bring in a few tractor trailers last year and block off the roads completely. I know that I heard from the guys last week, which was phenomenal. So the trains that were out there as well. When the parade was over, they just pulled across the roadway, so there was one or two ways to get out of the village only. So it made it much safer, much more accessible, and ways to get people in and out of the village safely. We do want to look to close down Main Street again this year. Probably just the actual Main Street portion from Church over to like the bridge area. So we're gonna close that and hopefully have it closed all day long. The lighting and the cones that went up last year worked perfect. So we're gonna look to do that again this year. We're expecting probably 60 or more. And that's about as much as Telescope's probably can handle. So we're probably gonna stick around that number, but we've already had people ask when can I register. Registration will open a month from next Thursday. And we started working on the permits in April, so we're already good with the state and the county permits.
Great. Thank you guys both, Paul and Crystal, and everybody else that helps on this tractor parade. It is a awesome event, and it certainly brings out the people. There's no doubt about that. And for the first couple of weeks to kick off the holiday season, as far as Granville goes, it's really helping us get on the map, and everybody knows about it. So the first 2 weeks, this is the weekends. This is the place to be. There's no doubt about that. Go ahead.
The free floating giveaway. We're at Polish and
Mhm.
we worked with the new storage units over on the too. They're actually gonna give us 2 storage units to fill open to collect this year.
Wow.
And we're gonna give it to her at the beginning. So I'm working on that. It's not 100% yet, but
Excellent.
Awesome.
And again, thanks to everybody that contributes and everything. I know a little cooler weather, you start thinking about it, and everybody says it's not even Halloween yet. But Dean and I actually started yesterday, and Maria started hanging lights and decorating lights and fixing lights. So I know the feeling, but it is nice to get a good head start jump on it during the warm weather. And as usual, we're going to put on one hell of a show for you, and it's definitely not something that you want to miss. So again, thank you to Crystal and Paul and all the organizers and that help out to work on this. And it's a big benefit for the Village of Granville. Okay, moving along. I have another thing for the mayor's reports here. This is from the school. The Granville Central School is going to be conducting their Spirit Walk on September 18th, next Thursday. This is going to involve the students, faculty members leaving from Potter Avenue, exit, walking down Potter to Church Street. And then they're going to be turning south, walking to the Telescope parking lot, adjoining the practice football field, where there's going to be a very large bonfire. I see that quite a pile of pallets out there right now. Granville School has reached out and they just asked us to have a presence by the police department in the interest of the student and public safety. And I just wanted to run this by Ernie real quick. Is this okay? Is this something on your agenda? You know what's going to happen?
Yeah, that should happen.
Okay. All right. So thanks to the police department, and I hope everybody has a good time at this, and we'll try to make everything, I hope it's a safe event and definitely put everybody in the spirit. Okay. That's one pretty much thing. I want to address an issue that we've been having that seems to be cropping up quite a bit in the last month and a half. Uh, there is a local law that is in the village books, on the books right now, and specifically pertaining to people that are housing chickens or having chickens on their at their property within the village. We've been getting calls left and right about roosters, and this is one of the main reasons why we did not allow chickens in the village because you can't tell whether you're getting a chicken or a rooster, which came first, the chicken or the egg or the rooster. But anyway, the rooster will definitely let you know when they're around, and they like to let everybody know around 4 a.m., and it wakes up the entire village. So we've been getting some complaints on South Maple Street. We've been getting some complaints on Meadow East Street. We've also had complaints someplace up on North Street. So I just want to make this crystal clear to everybody that there is a law on the books specifically that there is no chickens within the village. You cannot have chickens. You cannot raise chickens. You cannot have roosters. Anything else that goes cock-a-doodle-doo. So I just want to remind everybody, please get rid of your chickens if you have them. If not, our code enforcement officer will be paying you a visit, and it is the law. And I can understand everybody and the price of eggs and everything else, but the chicken's got to go. So, okay. That's all I have for mayor's reports. What I'm going to do now is open the floor to public comment. If anybody would like to make a comment or make a statement, please address the board. This is not a question and answer period. You have 5 minutes to make your comments, whatever you'd like to say. And as it is right now, I'd like to open the floor to anybody who would like to make a comment. If I I don't have anybody to make a comment, then I'm going to close the session for the public hearing. I do not have anything for executive session, so at this moment, I'm going to ask that we make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Paul makes the motion and Heather seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, everybody, thank you.